And just like that, we're live for the second episode of To Be Continued, presented by thevc.com. Today's topics, we're going to talk a little bit of sports, a little bit about the police brutality, Colin Kaepernick. We're going to get into it all. But before I do, I got to introduce my co-host, Mr. Christopher Daniels. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, people? What's going on? I'm back again next week. You know what I mean? This is week 2, so I'm very excited.
Absolutely, week number 2, and for those who missed week number 1, check out the archives there, and we will have it if it's not already in iTunes and Google Play. You could do so. But before we get started, I gotta give you a second. Just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We need those subscribers up. So go ahead and hit your subscribe button right there in YouTube and iTunes. And show us a little bit of love, if you will. So let's just go ahead and get started, Chris. Let's talk about today's main topic. Some major shade going down, some hating going down. NBA season, we're not in season right now, but there's a lot of news, a lot of drama coming out of Cleveland. LeBron James, Kyrie Irving. What do you feel about the nonsense and the fire going on?
It's crazy. And it actually reminds me of the Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal escapades that they had going on, back in the day. And it's really exciting, and it's sad to say, like, NBA season is over, but like this is like, this is putting fuel into the fire. This is like getting everybody excited. Like, I'm dying to see how the NBA, is gonna react here in the near future. So like, the NFL is gonna happen, college football is gonna happen, but everyone's like, really linked into this Kyrie Irving, LeBron James thing right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, it spreads like an evil disease because it starts with just LeBron and Kyrie, and then everybody else is getting involved because now we got talks about Melo and possibly the Phoenix Suns getting involved, Timberwolves getting involved. Everybody's getting involved with this feud, and it's kind of like something that you read in a grocery store gossip magazine. Because LeBron said he was blindsided by Kyrie's trade request. Kyrie said that that he's upset that. Well, let's talk about LeBron and Stephen A. Smith talking about he's gonna whoop him if he were to see him right now. What is going on there?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That is so crazy. Like, that's the last thing I would have expected, to come out. But it's like, I don't, people love, people love the drama, man. We love the drama. We love the good versus evil concept, and it's really exciting. And I think it's gonna help, like the NBA kind of reshape and, get some more followers and get more people to actually view and start looking at stats and things of that nature.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let me ask you this. If you're the GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers, do you actually trade Kyrie, or do you hold on because he's got years on his contract, right? And LeBron, although he must seem upset, he's been able to smooth things over. Kevin Love was set to be a free agent and leave a year or so ago, but he met with LeBron and they talked it out. Is this beyond talking out now, or do we have to move Kyrie?
So I believe at this point, as the GM, there's been rumors that, you know, Kyrie, he hasn't even been, you know, there's been like a no contact, you know what I mean, order, you know, per se from you know, like his agent. So like his agent is handling all conversations, you know, regarding like the trades and, you know, him wanting out. But as the GM, Kyrie has stepped beyond the boundary of no return. There is no possible way that you could expect Kyrie Irving, you know, being the professional that he is, there's no way that you can expect Kyrie Irving to actually perform at his best. You know, based off of the LeBron James in you know, in him wanting to be traded, you know. So I believe that if you don't trade, you know, Kyrie Irving, then there's gonna be like some type of like background issues that may fester inside the locker room, and that could spread like wildfire. And before you know it, you know, you have other guys saying like, you know what, we agree with Kyrie, and then it's like before you know, it's like an uncontrollable fire, and then the whole team is like, you know, because when these guys are playing, you know, there's a so you gotta choose sides. There's gonna be a point in time where you have to choose if you're playing on a team,
right?
You know, so it's like, hey, do you agree with LeBron or do you agree with Kyrie? You know, Batman or Robin? You know what? You know.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you spoke about Kobe. For whatever reason, Kobe tried to distance himself as if this exact scenario didn't happen with him and Shaq before. But Kobe also wanted to trade, and he almost got traded to Chicago after some beef. And they, you know, this was after they ousted Shaq and they couldn't find a way back to the championship at that time, and they eventually did get that championship. But the point is, they held on to him. He was disgruntled. He was mad. They held on to him. Now we've seen LeBron take a trash team to the finals before. He lost, but his first run to the championship with Cleveland, you know who they have, Eric Snow. I mean, it was garbage. So point is, if they trade him, what are they going to get back? Or, you know, are they going to get the right pieces? Because they're frantic. You know, they don't have a real office right now. They've got interims in, so you know they don't have the time with the pressure coming in to get a good return. Do you risk that? Do you hold on? Do you wait until the trade deadline? There's a lot of talk about sending Kyrie up to New York for the banana boat friend and Carmelo Anthony. Could you see Carmelo making a trip down to Cleveland and joining LeBron? He hasn't won a ring.
Yeah, I believe that that Carmelo Anthony is he's team Chris Paul, you know, and he's always, you know, stated that he wanted to play ball with Chris Paul. So the thing, but the thing is also like Carmelo Anthony, he'll be up for trade in 2018, summer 2018. But like, are they gonna hold out on Kyrie that long?
Yeah.
And you know, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they currently have Derrick Rose.
Yep.
Now Derrick Rose isn't a Kyrie Irving, you know.
No.
He's not Kyrie Irving. So
not anymore anyways.
But the thing about it is, you know, Derrick Rose, he has the ability to score. He's a scoring point guard. And if you need the points, you know, a healthy, you know, I place emphasis on the healthy.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a healthy Derrick Rose will get you those points that you need, and he can actually contribute, you know, when he's, you know, when he's 100% or 90%. But I think Derrick Rose could actually fill that void, for the time being, if they wanted to get rid of him early in the season or before the season starts. I feel like they can throw Derrick Rose in there, and basically help balance out, the team, because they they have like guys like Amani Shumpert, J.R. Smith. They have Jose Calderon. But I honestly believe that they could actually like just play it safe and just try to get a trade. Try to get a trade for him while everything is good.
Yeah, when that announcement that they signed Derrick Rose, that hit me out of nowhere. I was like, well, what are they doing? I can't imagine Derrick Rose, Kyrie, and LeBron all sharing the ball like that. So I was a little bit confused, and I was like, okay, but maybe they'll find a way to make it work. LeBron is not a shoot first kind of guy. He's a pass first player. So, okay, maybe it'll work. But then you got Kevin Love, who already isn't feeling the love. So there was just a lot of pieces to try and if you throw Carmelo Anthony into that, Rose, Anthony, LeBron, Love, like, man, somebody's gonna get their feelings hurt. So
yeah.
And plus, I'm a Houston Rockets fan, so I'm okay with the trade coming from New York to Houston, so I'm all right with that. But I don't know. This is a very curious position that Cleveland's in. Kyrie is. I mean, why are you getting your feelings hurt? Like you tired of this man? Being in his shadow. Come on, he. I don't know. So we'll see. They talk about trying to make all the super friends join up, maybe in LA or something like that, in a year or two. So maybe Kyrie can just hold on. It'll be his team. Maybe the damage can be repaired, but I don't know. I think Kyrie will probably be on his way out, provided a good enough return can come back. But
yeah.
I want to talk.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Something else?
No. I was gonna add. Like the teams that Kyrie is interested in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You got like the Timberwolves, Minnesota Timberwolves. He said that he wouldn't mind playing for the New York Knicks, Miami, San Antonio. But I'm not, I'm a Knicks fan. I like the New York Knicks, mainly because Carmelo, because I like Carmelo Anthony. I'm a fan of his. But I believe that, Kyrie should take I believe that he should, go towards the Minnesota Timberwolves, because they had a few pickups, in his career in that area, looks a little bit more promising, especially because you got Jimmy Butler over there.
Yep. Wiggins. He might get.
Yeah, they
might. I don't know if he can go. See, there's the curious case, because Wiggins' name has been linked to this trade, and could you put him on Cleveland when basically LeBron had him ousted out before he even stepped foot off the plane? Like, you can't bring Wiggins unless there's a third team that gets involved and Wiggins goes somewhere else.
Yeah,
that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's awkward, is it not?
Yeah, it probably would have to be a three-team trade, in order to get him there,
But yeah, you're right. Out of the teams, you got Porzingis in New York. So, okay, maybe, I always love a team with a great big and a great small. But you have that with Karl Anthony Towns in Minnesota. Add in your small forward, Jimmy Butler. And man, that team might, make some damage in the playoffs, I think. They may be a piece or two away from, being a real serious contender with the arrival of Kyrie. So, but San Antonio, to me, that would be like, who the heck? Their players are either super old. Like, I don't see that. I don't see that trade coming through for them. That's like a wish list. Like, okay, send me I need to go to a contender.
Yeah.
Let me just go ahead and throw out San Antonio. He might as well, to me, have thrown out Golden State, because that's about as likely as I see that trade going down. But who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
All right. Let's also let's keep it a little bit of sports related here. Well, not lie. Let's go HBO. HBO was the topic of the weekend, not because of Game of Thrones was out, but in relations to because of a brand new television series that they are greenlighting. Have you heard about the news of this TV show called Confederate that the HBO team is about to greenlight?
Yeah, I have heard about this show, and it actually, I think we spoke a little bit about this last week, and it actually like saddens me, just because I like the Game of Thrones, you know what I mean, and it kind of saddens me, because the creators from the Game of Thrones, David Benoff and D.B. Wise, they're the creators of this show, and I'm like, man, so are they thinking about that during the Game of Thrones? Like, were they, I don't know.
They messing up Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I'm watching, I'm looking at the Lannisters. I'm like, man, I'm seeing some other people. I don't know whether to think about, Kunta Kinte or, I'm confused, so like that kind of took me by storm, I was just like, man, like what, it actually like makes you ask the question, like what do you really think,
Yeah.
like what are you really thinking deep down inside, like, when no one knows,
Yep. It is a sad state, and for those who aren't up on it, Confederate is a show by the HBO that they're going to air as if slavery continued throughout time. I guess the South won the Civil War and slavery continues. So very weird. From that. There was the hashtag of No Confederate that was supposed to be launched during the airing of Game of Thrones this past Sunday. The same person at Reign of April who started Oscar So White, the hashtag that Oscar So White also started this hashtag, and it ended up trending #1 nationwide. Hashtag No Confederate, and #2 worldwide. So people were definitely sharing it. I saw people who were for the banning of the show spreading it, and then people also who don't understand the concept of hashtags also using it in support. I'm like, that's not how it's supposed to work. You're supporting the cause and helping it trend by using the hashtag No Confederate. But it's just kind of crazy that you have to, in 2017, say, hey, this is a bad idea. And I started thinking, like, you don't really see a series on, what if the Nazis took over the world? It's kind of a weird thing. I've seen comedies where Hitler's still alive in 2017. I think there's a comedy right now on Netflix about that. I haven't actually, watched it. don't care to waste my time to that. But crazy thing that and the thing is, they brought on two writers, a couple, their husband and wife team, who also write for Game of Thrones, and they're black. And they said they would never do anything to basically, enslave, their people. And here they're now writing this. And the only kind of negative thing that they had to say about this whole release was, well, we probably shouldn't have done it in a press release. Like, what? Really?
Wow.
What? That's the mistake? That it was in a press? How do you how do you release the news in a good way if a press release won't do it?
Yeah, that is crazy. And it's do you want people of color, black, brown, what have you, people of color to relive what their ancestors went through? I feel like there's a thin line between reality and in history. So you're trying to clash the two. And I believe that if they put the two together, then it's like it doesn't give people a warm and fuzzy, It's
right.
It's especially with people that are from the South and they've been raised in the South. They have to, the Confederate, and that goes along with the Confederate flag and like the meaning of it. And, it's still being flown in certain places and things like that. And some people say like, hey, what, there's nothing good that can come out of this show. What am I going to learn?
Right.
What am I going to learn? How can it be entertaining to, how is it going to be entertaining for the African American crowd? You know what I mean? Like, how is that going to entertain those? Because most of their followers, the HBO has a huge following of African Americans. You know what I mean? And I feel like that may take away from their following. Depending on how this show comes out. It could threaten certain portions of their their viewers, and it's definitely if the show airs, it's gonna be it's definitely gonna be huge. It's gonna be a huge thing, and I want to say I don't support it, but I'm almost curious to see what the heck is gonna, what the heck are they gonna be talking about? Like what?
Right.
Because you can't be blind and deaf to it. You have to view it, because if you don't view it, then you don't know what's going on. You gotta be in the now, as
right.
they say.
Yeah, and that's a tough one. Like, who are you as the actor to sign up for that role? Be like, yeah, Mom, I finally did it. I got my breakthrough. Oh, really, baby? What are you? Yeah, I'm a slave on HBO. Oh, I mean,
yeah,
how many? And people are gonna take this role. It's HBO. It's prime time. It's the money is green. But it doesn't work without black folks, right?
it really doesn't. And money talks, man. Money talks, and it's gonna be, it's gonna be some interesting what is it called, auditions, as they say, for that show. And it's like, and it's it's kind of like heartbreaking, because. I know people have to eat and people have to feed their families, and it's just kind of like it is sad and is not cool that you would have to I wouldn't say sell out, but that you would be willing to, to entertain a show of this nature. So it's crazy. It is crazy, and
like you said, outside of being on HBO, how do you like, if you just hand someone the script who's an actor, how do you sell them like this is going to be a good thing? You were saying, what's the educational value that I'm going to get from this? If it's not going to be educational, then it has to be entertaining, right? That's the only other side of the spectrum. And how can I be entertained by something that I'm looking side eye? And the thing is, okay, this is supposed to be set in the present. What are they going to do? Is this going to be like live PD where you just go outside and film? Because, many African Americans feel like, there's a lot of, slaves, stuff going on right here and right now without the whips and the chains. So, I mean, what difference are we going to see outside? Because, farming is an industrial world now. So how are they going to make people slaves in 2017? I don't even know if I'm interested in seeing that. Although I do get your point of, you got to view it to see what's going on. I'm definitely not going to pay to see it. I know that. They will not get my money from it. But if I'm Stars, if I'm any of these other, I'm putting power on, and I'm running it right up against this show because, hey, I'm stealing viewers just like that.
Yeah. Like the series that Underground.
You're right. That's another thing.
They could have easily taken Underground, and HBO could have easily taken Underground and ran with that, added a couple more cast members, you know what I mean, and and ran with it and beefed it up. They have a lot more, money or whatever like that.
Exactly.
Or Netflix. Netflix could have done it. Netflix would have been like, all right, well, cool. We have a budget and we'll just take on this show for at least one season and we'll see what we can do, But
right. I'm tired of the slave movies though. I mean, there's more to Black people than, reliving what happened in slave times. We've got people who are inventors. We got people who are billionaires. There's where are those stories? Let me hear those stories. I don't need to hear about what if there were slaves in America. How about what if there were more Black billionaires in America? How about that story? That's a story I will invest in, and I'm sure there's some going from the struggle to all of a sudden a billionaire. That's something I'd like to see.
Yeah. So I was actually thinking. I was thinking, man. I was deep in thought. I was like, wow. I was on the way to work today. I was like, wow. So this hashtag No Confederate. Confederate states. We see it all the time. Confederate flags, and they're saying like, oh, it's not racist. You know what I mean? This is the flag.
Sure.
This is for.
It's history.
This is history. It's for bravery. You know what I mean? But the flag that's actually flown today isn't even the actual flag. You know what I mean? This is that's a flag that was used to to show other people outside of the Caucasian race that, hey, we don't like this desegregation law that was passed. You know what I mean? We're for the separation and all of that. So I was thinking, I was like, well, if they really wanted to put a spin on something, why don't you put a spin on this? How about we just change the whole history? How about we place whites or Caucasians in the role of Blacks? So let's say we went overseas and we got them from Europe and we brought them to America. How crazy would that be? If
that would be a good
were reversed, but will people watch it? That cause a lot of controversy,
Absolutely, and they would be screaming racist, just like I don't know if you've seen the Procter and Gamble ad where they are what's the tagline? Slogan's "Your black is beautiful" or something similar to that. And all it did is it was showing different black mothers speaking to their children about, one was they're going to call you that, speaking of the N-word without them actually saying it. Baby, make sure you come straight home after work. Baby, make sure you have your ID on you just in case something happens. And it's called The Talk, and it's about black parents talking to black kids about the dangers of racism in America. So when you talk about what if the roles were reversed and we brought Europeans over, that would be the Procter & Gamble. They were getting ridiculous things like, I'm boycotting Procter & Gamble. Do you know how many products Procter & Gamble, every product you buy in your house is Procter & Gamble.
Every day,
So people are talking about they go protest and not buy Procter. Okay, good luck. Go for it. But so white Americans are hashtag that's racist. So they would definitely be hashtag and good. That's the point of that TV commercial that I was referencing was they said, let's start the conversation, kind of thing. And, that a TV show where the roles were reversed would definitely start that conversation. Or another spin on your same idea would be, we're powered by Denmark VC, the VC.com. VC was trying to lead a slave revolt. What if the slave revolt actually happened? I know his goal was to take people to either like Haiti or back to Africa, but what if they stayed here and the revolts kind of bled from Charleston, South Carolina, all the way up north, and there was a slave revolt? And what would society be like now, where if a black person turns in a resume, that's a common thing. The name is not side-eyed, and if John Henry put in an application, and now that gets the side eye. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
It would be interesting.
It would be interesting, and it would definitely get people up in arms. And just like there would be there's a no Confederate for the Confederate show, there would be a no racist or something for that. So that it's a crazy time, and I guess we'll have to keep an eye on it. See, HBO has already said that they're still going through with it despite the hashtag. So it's they didn't deter them at all. But my question now is, a lot of this has kind of poured out so early. The show hasn't been written yet. Will the protests to the show pick back up when it launches, or will it just quietly come into existence and people catch on just like it's the new Game of Thrones, as it's obviously intending to do? So really, really crazy. Anything else you want to add to hashtag no Confederate before we get into some NFL talk?
Nah, man, I just want the listeners and the viewers to just be wise on like what you condone and what you allow, like your loved ones to watch and stuff like that. So it's just
right.
You just gotta stay on your toes.
Right. And ultimately we decide, right? We're gonna decide how successful this show is and whether HBO puts it on. So if everybody cancels their HBO subscription and picks up Stars or Showtime or just goes Netflix or Hulu, that's going to make a statement. If you're not tuning in on Sunday night to watch Confederate, your money's going to do the talking. So if you don't like it, you can certainly use the hashtag. That should be done. But your actions, your dollars is the really only thing they care about. You can start, this could trend worldwide every single Sunday, but as long if you're tuning in,
yeah,
that's really going to be the outcome. So we'll keep an eye on it. And let's talk a little bit about the NFL. You brought it to my attention just moments before we took the airwaves that it starts tonight. The NFL goes down tonight in the first preseason. Oh man. Hey, I'm so excited. I didn't even know. I was like, okay, we're gonna talk about this Colin Kaepernick thing. All right, the NFL, but hey, we can't ignore that the NFL preseason starts. I've been jonesing a little bit. I saw that it was a week. I didn't realize it was Thursday already, for one thing.
Yeah. It's gonna be exciting, man. You got the Cardinals versus the Cowboys tonight, man. It's gonna be not All-Star, what is it? The Hall of Fame game.
Hall of Fame game, yep.
Hall of Fame game. So it's gonna be, this is starting it out, it's gonna be great, man. I'm excited that football season is starting. I need a little something, to relax me. I need some football in my life, and it's here. It's here, ladies and gentlemen. It is here.
All right, go ahead and go on the record. Let us know who your squad is and what's your prediction for your team. We in preseason mode already. We know it's early. Anything could happen, but who's your team?
Anything can happen. Like you said, anything can happen. So my team is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh
Steelers. And my prediction for this year, you got old Tom Brady.
He just turned 40.
Yeah, old Tom Brady, 40-40 club. He getting up there. So I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna take the NFL by storm like he did last year. Last year it was almost like it was rigged, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like I started questioning. You know what I mean? Like the football fanatics, and I was like, man, how do you just, you come off of four games, I think it was 4 to 5 games, off suspension, for the deflate gate.
Yep.
You know what I mean? How do you come off of that and then you just go on a winning spree? You go straight to the Super Bowl. Don't even look back. You know what I mean? And it's not like his team is not like, he doesn't have an all-star team. But with that being said, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and we have a healthy Ben Roethlisberger. We got Le'Veon Bell. We got D'Angelo Williams. We got Antonio Brown, and then also we got my boy. We got my boy Martavius Bryant. He's back, man. He's back, man. He did his time. He served his time. It's really unfortunate what happened, but he's back on a good foot, man. They said he's looking healthy, training camp. So if anyone knows football and knows the matchup between Pittsburgh and New England, knows that Pittsburgh has the blueprint. You know what I mean? They have the blueprint. They have the kryptonite for Tom Brady.
Belichick.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And Belichick. They have it. So and it's been proven. It's been proven that.
So you saying that Patriots ain't going? He's old. So what is the Super Bowl matchup then? Your preseason Super Bowl matchup, and then we're gonna check this.
My preseason Super Bowl matchup is New York Giants, Pittsburgh Steelers in Minneapolis for the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow. First of all, you're wrong. I don't think that's going down. And let's take a look at ESPN's odds. You said the Patriots were old with their old man captain. They actually have the greatest odds. They've got them 5-2 to repeat here, followed by the Dallas Cowboys, the Seahawks, the Raiders, and your Steelers make it in the list at 12-1 odds to make it back. So that's what the experts are picking. I gotta go with my heart. And we just got a revamped offense. We just drafted Christian McCaffrey, the man who could do it all. We got Cam Newton coming off his shoulder surgery, and now he's feeling fine. He was injured and banged up last year, didn't perform as well as we thought. We got Julius Peppers back on the field for us. Peppers, Olsen, Thomas Davis. Oh my goodness, this team is looking mighty nice. Now, for some reason, they put them at a 30-1 odds. I don't really respect that. And I think it'll be a rematch, the Panthers and the Patriots in the Super Bowl, with the Panthers getting the job done. The offense is going to be something you haven't seen in years. In years.
Man, the offensive line, the offensive line for the Panthers, man, like they just gotta, they gotta protect your boy, man. They gotta protect him.
Yeah.
If they don't, he could have a crappy season. It's that easy.
I agree. Yeah, and they've made some changes there, so we'll see how. Supposedly it's beefed up. We didn't really address it in the draft, but through free agency we addressed it a little bit. So I'm hoping they do. Now, there's a lot of things that I'm hoping to see. I'm interested down in Jacksonville, Leonard Fournette, see if he's going to be running people over in the NFL. I don't know if that can happen. I'm projecting him to be a top 5 back, because that's Blake Bortles. I mean, that I don't know what else they got there. So I think that's going to be interesting to see here. And being Thursday night, the Cowboys, they're projected number 2, 8-1 odds. We're going to see a glimpse of them tonight. I think the Stars are only going to get 1 or 2 reps tonight. So we'll see how they look, and if the sophomore slump hits the Dallas Cowboys. I think they're not going to look as great as they did last season. So with Ezekiel Elliott, the number 1 running back in the league last year, I don't think it's gonna repeat. Now, let me ask you this, Mr. Daniels. We keep seeing this on the news. Every time a quarterback gets hurt, Colin Kaepernick's name is brought up. He is still without a job. I gotta ask you, did you hear the comments? Because they're talking about bringing him onto the Ravens because Joe Flacco has an injury, possible injury, could be out. Did you hear the comments of one Ray Lewis on Mr. Colin Kaepernick? Did you hear that?
No, I did not. But I heard some of the comments that some of the fans said, "We don't want him here," or something like that. Yeah, it was something to that nature. And I was like, when I heard that, I was just like, wow, like, we don't want him here. It was kind of borderline, but
that's lines they pulling out of that Confederate movie right there.
Yeah. That's exactly. That's it. They had this. They must have got the script early. They might have been one of the actors, But yeah, man, I was like, we don't want him here. And I was just like, wow, like, and the guy can play football.
He was in the Super Bowl 4 years ago.
The guy can ball. He didn't have the best. He had like they were ranked second. They had the second to worst record in the NFL. They were 2-14. So You know, I can't, you know, numbers don't lie, you know, but you have to think about like the position which, you know, the basically the cards that he was dealt in the position that he was placed in. And
Yeah.
I feel like he did as well as he could do, you know, in his situation, you know, because you got to think about like, you know, him kneeling and like all of the media attention that he was getting surrounding that, you know, and it was crazy. Can you expound on like what they were talking about as far as like the comments that Ray Lewis made?
Yeah, and he was on First Take with Shannon Sharp because Ray Lewis was consulted apparently by the Ravens organization to kind of decide, because people look to Ray Lewis as a leader, and so they were basically, Lewis was saying that he should protest in private. I'm trying to figure out how you protest in private. Like,
wow.
That's like the opposite of a protest.
So do you want me to go to my room and punch some pillows and then come back out? And, you know, like what do you?
How does that solve anything? I'm a protest in private? Come on, man. So that to me was the most ridiculous thing. Also, and he's basically saying he needs to step back with his protests and basically fall in line, which is bizarre to me. Like, first of all, let's not forget, we getting advice from a murder suspect who, after this, still, I can't remember, the details are foggy right now. I don't know if it was before the Super Bowl or right after the Super Bowl, but regardless, Ray Lewis was involved with a murder and continued to play after that for the Ravens organization. This is the same organization that allowed Ray Rice to stay on the team after he knocked out his fiance, knocked her out cold. Only after the video came out and surfaces did they cut ties with Ray Rice. And Colin Kaepernick has committed no crime. He has not been accused of any crime. He kneeled. He didn't kneel literally on the flag. He didn't burn the flag. He didn't desecrate the flag in any type of way, shape, or form. He committed no crime. But yet you are going to guys who have a history for their opinion. I mean,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's you the NFL, you know, like you were saying, they're going to these individuals that's committing actual crimes. You know, they want Colin Kaepernick, you know, someone who stood up, you know, for his political views on, you know, how blacks were being treated and how he felt like the national anthem didn't really speak truth during the certain situations that's been going on. You know what I mean? So I just look at it like, so they really want Colin Kaepernick to get a pass from the double murder suspect Ray Lewis. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you like so we just bypass all of that. So, and then also, so they also want Colin Kaepernick to get advice from Michael Vick, the dog fighter. You know what I mean? Like, who would be a good, you know, who would be a good person to get advice from? And it's like, he doesn't need any advice. And I believe he's being blackballed, you know, because of his political views. Like you can't force someone to do something that you don't want them to do. He didn't say he didn't respect America. Right. He just felt like, hey, this was my way of, you know, basically communicating, to the NFL and to the people like, hey, I just wanted to take a stand, and I just wanted people to notice, like, yo, this is not supposed to be happening. And I believe that, we're pledging our allegiance, to a flag, and we're doing all of this, but America's not staying true to what they said they were going to be doing. It's not, there isn't any truth coming out of it, so. And I support him. I support him. Although I am a military service member. Like, hey, you have freedom of speech. Just like you were saying, he didn't burn the flag. He didn't stomp on it.
Right.
He didn't rip a piece off. You go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? Wipe his butt. He didn't do none of that. All he did was basically he took a knee and he took a stance, in a couple of his friends on the team. I want to say Eric Reed. He kneeled as well with them on a couple of photos that I've seen. So he basically took a knee to basically bring insight to the situation that was going on. So.
Right. He was just saying, take a look at how the country is treating. The NFL is something like 66% African American. So when there's an issue in our country with African Americans, you would think that, hey, they are a major part of what we do. They make what we do happen. Maybe we should band together, get on their side, and see their point of view at least, but definitely don't ostracize them, because it's not, at the end of the day, it's not really about the numbers. I know you spoke, he was on a horrible team, and he was, but you also said it's the circumstances he's put into. He was still 16 TDs to 4 interceptions. The ratio is pretty solid. It's not 50 touchdowns, but it's also not 25 interceptions. So he taking care of the ball. He's like a top 15. His quarterback rating is a top 15 amongst the league. So he's better than over half of the people. So that means he could definitely back up any team. So if Joe Flacco goes down, why don't you bring him in? Because, potentially he's better than Joe Flacco. So Joe Flacco's got a large contract, which I think is set to expire next year. Putting him into that slot, maybe even, better if you're about wins and losses, that might be a better position. But they say it's about the owner, Chris. They say the owner is the one that's rejected it. And now it's reports that the owners across the league, which is not a surprise, are the ones that are blackballing him from the NFL. And who are your owners? How many owners are African American? So how many are old white males? So that's kind of the problem that we have in America, and they're just like 66% of the organization is made up of African Americans, and 100% is made up of old white men. And the trends, until some of those old white views get flushed out, then we will continue to have problems where African Americans are being held back and not giving a chance. Whether we're talking about just being a backup to the problem where they had to instate a Rooney Rule just so black coaches could get interviewed, and who's making these ultimate decisions? Owners. It all falls back to owners. So until some of these, just like Magic Johnson was able to buy part of the Dodgers, and Shaq owns part of the Sacramento Kings, until some of these, whether it's athletes or entrepreneurs, get into positions where they can start infiltrating some of this, we're going to be seeing this for a very long time. This is going to be the Confederate for a long time, Chris.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. It's the NFL, like the system is not built. Is built for the players to win. The African American players to win. Is built for those guys to win. But as far as like the political side, and being like the commissioner, and and GMs, and the front office, like those, those they some of these front office guys, they haven't touched the football ever in their life. You know what I mean? But you make more money than the guys that's actually that's out there putting their necks on the line.
Absolutely, and it's crazy, but that's the way it is, and that's the way it's gonna be until, like I said, somebody else puts their coin in and invests. But it's all good. We on the come up. There's a lot of big things happening in the African American community. We like to share that on the VC.com, where people are growing, even young entrepreneurs where, whether it's selling lemonade or selling bow ties, people are making changes and making waves. If you would like to contribute to the VC.com, we're looking for writers, podcasters. Just shoot us an email, thevc@gmail.com. That's THEVESEY@gmail.com. Or hit us up at the VC on Twitter, Facebook. We're all over the place. We're wrapping up tonight's show here. Chris, parting words for the people, anything that we need to touch on that we just didn't get to?
I have nothing for the good of the group, but please like, subscribe. Don't forget to watch some football tonight.
Yes.
Tune in, see all of these Hall of Fame greats. That's all I got, man. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. Well, we will be back here next. Yes, thank you for tuning in. Next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you share the show. Tell a friend. Spread the word. Show some love. Subscribe. And we will see you. This episode is to be continued.